Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Too Late We Said It, featuring myself, Sean Leverett, and my dog, Edwin Nevado, broadcasting live from the South. What's good, Edwin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything's chill. It's another chill week that I had. You know what I mean?
Nigga,
just
please.
floating in the clouds, floating through the universe.
Get the fuck out of here, nigga.
How was your week, man?
Oh man, my week is as it always been for the last couple years, man. Slow and steady, just comedy, family, and I've been strong off the reefer, man. I'm proud of myself, man. We drug free. We've been drug free. I've been keeping it strong, man. So I appreciate everybody's support that I've been seeing in the streets. Has been offering me blunts, you dirty bitches. Try as I continue to stay clean.
Footnote: the first thing that you said is a book title.
What was the first thing I said?
You said comedy family.
That's a book.
Yo, when you write it 10 years from now, you just remember.
Oh, you said my book title. Okay.
Yeah, your book title, son. Like I just heard, like I'll read that book, comedy and family,
and blunts and no blunts
and no blunts.
It's a sad story. It's a sad story.
It sounds like a happy one to me.
Yeah, I know. Maybe. Who's just running in my house? Or it's just my son. Comedy and family. Hey, yo, so we're gonna start this week off, man, talking about something that was in the news, man. You know, I completely despise the Dallas Cowboys. Pull the chair up and get it, but just don't knock nothing over, son. My kids asking, this nigga hurricane status, yo.
Hey, that's
what
interesting.
Are you trying to get, bro?
It's like,
man, get your ass down, man. No, bro, go away.
This
nigga trying to get Pokemon
the whole bookshelf to get himself a freaking Squirtle off the top shelf.
Go ahead, yo. Be careful.
What you
yes, go ahead.
Was that a Charmander?
You're trying to get a Pokemon Battle Academy.
Oh, okay. What you got? Squirtle?
This is what my kids almost killed me over, guys.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Look.
I want to be the very best.
That was a Charizard
shooting
a flame at Pikachu.
Which is called bullying, because that's a little ass Pokemon versus.
Hey, don't underestimate Pikachu, man. That motherfucker got a serious attack.
Nigga, please. But anyway, look, we gonna Charizard do 100 damage, nigga. I remember that when I was a kid, bro. Pikachu had to slap Ash, touch Misty butt, spit on Brock, and call Pikachu a bitch for him to do some tough shit. Pikachu! He get real mad then.
Pika.
Don't you want that? But yeah.
Don't you want some pico de gallo? Don't you want some?
Hey,
would you like some pico de gallo? No onions, please.
You don't like onions, Joe?
I don't like raw onions, you know.
Okay. Ooh, baby, I like it, bro. We'll talk about that
caramelized onions are good, but no raw.
Caramelized. Do they actually put caramel or caramel on caramel onions?
Caramelized is just a process that happens to something when you're exposing it to intense heat, like, you know, caramelizing, like just sugar, you know, when it changes from a grainy state into a caramel state where it's like it blends, so it's like almost like it's blending the flavors into one flavor. So when you caramelize something, you're actually like changing the whole process, so the flavors change. It's like a chemical change.
The molecular structure has been altered.
Exactly, the molecular structure. That's what I was looking for.
Mr. Freeze. Okay, I got you. Well, the molecular structure in the blood alcohol content of my man DeMonte Kazi, cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys, who actually had an interception the other day.
He just had an
interception,
which is really good after he just caramelized his liver before he went driving.
But he should have got a pass because he was with Zeke. He was with Dak. He had the name drop real quick. He was with the homies.
I mean, what's your take on that? Because, you know, the headline said he name drops as if they're saying that he threw them under the bus. But when I observed the video, what I noticed was that he wasn't throwing them under the bus. He was explaining to the officers that he was hanging out with them and having a good time. So it looked like he was just being forthcoming and honest to try to see that his honesty would get him through the situation, because he knew he was fucked up. And he was like, I'm not going to say I'm fucked up, but if maybe I tell him I'm hanging with the boys. And not many people know, like the safety position or like defensive positions like that. It's not, unless you're like a top 3
Ryan
of
Dawkins
that position.
Like that.
Your name isn't like ringing bells. So he was like,
the Honey Badger.
He said he named the 2 most popular players on the team.
Who can get me out of this?
I was chilling with Zeke and Dak, you know. you know
Dak mother died recently, right? He tried to name drop. I don't think it was name dropping, bro. He was just
he was just being honest.
Drunk.
He was drunk. He was just being honest and drunk. And he was lost. Did you notice
he was
that?
lost.
You could tell he was lost, and I think that's why he got caught. In my opinion, because remember the officer said he saw observing coming out of specific
erratic
parking
driving.
lot, and then saw erratic driving when he came out. So it looked like he pulled over to try to figure out where the fuck was he going.
And that ain't a crime.
Yeah, and then the officer noticed he was driving a little swervy.
Yeah.
So he was like, because he's looking in the seat. You could tell he was all kind of discombobulated, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
I didn't see the video, yo. I just read the
you did
story from TMZ.
Yeah, I mean, you seen him, he was real calm. The cop was real nice, but you could tell the cop had no idea he was an NFL player. Even when he name dropped, he was still saying, "Oh, so like
Who
NFL stars?" Yeah, he said, "So NFL stars were hanging there. That's pretty cool." And then later on, he said it was rookie week, so they were out like showing the rookies a good time, and that's when the cop picked up on it and said, "Oh, so you're a rookie?" And he's like, "No." He said, "No, I'm in my 5th year, but I'm new to this team."
Oh, so yeah, that's right. He did get picked up at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, so he was new to the team. He didn't know where he was. That's when the cop realized, okay, I understand you're lost. That explains why you were where you're at and why you look discombobulated and why you do that. But his words were slurring, son.
So did he get arrested?
He ended up getting arrested. It started with a in-car sobriety test where he asked him a question. He said, "Can you do me a favor then, if you don't mind? If it's not too much trouble." He's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Can you count backwards from 42 to 32?" In which case he did it, but he was pausing in between, and sometimes you could see he had to stop to think, and then he passed 30. That's really what they look for, to see if you start and stop where they tell you to.
Yeah, cognitive ability.
So he went from 32 to 30 to 28, and he's like, "Oh, wait." He's like, "Sir, I said to 32," and you kept going. He's like, "Oh, okay." And that's
everybody,
the first. I
think everybody get nervous when they get pulled over by the police.
Yeah, true. But I mean, usually when you're not impaired, you'll usually at least hear and focus on the instructions. So when he did that, that's when he pulled him out the car and did a full sobriety test.
Okay.
And he failed because he kept doing things showing, and then he just
telltale drunk signs.
Yeah. So he politely told him to turn around and put his hands behind his back, and he cooperated. It was one of the most peaceful arrests that you can have. So I mean, that was what was going for him, but he was clearly drunk. Everybody who's seen the video could tell. You could tell that he said he only had 3 shots a few hours ago. He's like, "Bro, you had more than 3 shots, and it was way more recent than a few hours ago."
You rich, nigga. You getting blasted at the bar.
But I mean, here's the problem. Why we keep seeing these NFL stars, especially in the Cowboys, where you got some situations where you should have some team reps or some team interns that can drive you to and from places. Like, hey, we're about to go have a good time as a team.
Especially
that's Jerry Jones.
What happened with Henry Ruggs? I wouldn't. If I was in NFL, I would not be drink driving.
I would think after that, everybody would lock down and say, "Hey, man, all the teams should have had a meeting and say, hey, if you guys are gonna go out, we're gonna hire 5 or 10 people that's there. You just call them, and they'll be your chauffeur wherever you go. Right, you ain't got to drive at all. You can get as drunk as you want. Just don't
Uber's
drive.
on us. Uber's on us.
Uber's on us. But that's why they probably wouldn't take an Uber, because they're famous. And the Uber
they want to show their car. Well,
so
I think it is. They want to.
It's a $1 billion company. The $1 billion company should take matters into their own hands instead of waiting for their players to get in trouble. Fucking have meetings and tell these fucking boys, like, look, we got you. We got these 10 people here. Their only job is to drive you places when you're drunk.
But niggas still want to pull up in the Lamborghini they bought. They still want to pull up in the Escalade. You
face the consequences. I mean, think about that. Let's say if you don't do this and get caught, you are susceptible to getting banned from the NFL, suspended, blah.
Yeah, that's true. It's
take our gift, or take the consequence. Well, I mean, that's the NFL can fix it, I think. And KZ is an example of a peaceful situation that didn't turn out to anyone getting hurt. He just got arrested. He's going to face that little thing. They might, even if his first offense, just make him community service or whatnot, and maybe
since it went so well. If it went as well as you saying,
alcohol class. So he'll probably do a drug alcohol class, community service, and he'll be good to go. But the question is, we need to stop this right now. It needs to stop, because these guys got too much money to be out here acting foolish. And especially when the world is watching you,
As long as it's all them thick ass women in Dallas, this shit ain't gonna never stop, bro. They gonna keep pulling up, getting this Lamborghini beautiful. That's how they gonna feel, yo.
Hey, but he went straight to the field and got an interception, though.
He ain't go straight to the field. That shit was a third quarter pick, but I feel you. The next
game, he said, "Hey guys, don't cut me. See,
I ain't drunk no more. I ain't drunk.
I'm sober now."
But that was Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's finger was fucked up. He threw a pick to a DN.
Yeah.
Six to a DN.
His hand. You saw where his hand clipped when you
the
was
same
throwing.
way the same way my man Aaron Donald got Russell
Wilson, exactly. But Russell Wilson
Wilson.
is a little bit more severe because he actually fractured his finger.
Broke his shit. Yeah, it was
His
tough.
whole shit. Yo, I saw it too. His finger was facing the opposite way, son. It was like, it was facing that way like this. I was like, yo, his finger broke, yo.
He not the same either. You could tell from that.
Nah, he's not. I mean, his hand is healed, but he doesn't have the same grip. That's how you could tell the balls are sailing from him or going underneath because he don't have that grip. And
he
his
can't
hands,
pinpoint it.
Yeah, he don't have big hands to begin with, so his hand is just barely gripping that football like the way it is. He's a shorter quarterback, so he does have bigger hands for his height, but his hands ain't like the size of
league
a 6'5" quarterback.
DK Metcalf has
where the fingers go all the way around the ball. His fingers sit right at the seams. Laces like that, right at the seams. So when his fingers messed up, he doesn't have that grip. I think that's what the problem is.
It's all game off, man. It's tough, bro. It's tough. But another tough situation in the NFL, man, that I'm personally pissed off about is what happened with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers had was it four? Was it 4 players?
4 players.
4 players suspended for PPP fraud, nigga. Fucking vaccine card fraud. And a lot of people are drawing it, myself included. A lot of people drawing a comparison and wondering, like, damn, why Aaron Rodgers only got fined $15,000, and these dudes is going to lose 3 consecutive game checks, and depending on how much they get paid, I mean, we talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It could be even more down the line, and I think if I can put my thought on that is the difference is this: Aaron Rodgers was a difference between ignorance and misleading, not a total lie. Like, he was in his mind, he thought that if he goes, he had a treatment, that boosts your immune system, not a treatment that fights against a specific disease, but boosts your actual already inhibited antibodies in your body, which a lot of people that have like cancer get these treatments or have any kind of immuno diseases. Like if you have AIDS or something, you would get these treatments to boost your immune system to help fight off anything like Crohn's disease. That's another thing. Like you could have, like my sister, she has Crohn's disease. This is a treatment that you could have to boost your immune system, because sometimes when you're at your weakest, your immune system drops. So he went to his doctor. He had this procedure, immunotherapy, I think is what it's called, if I'm not mistaken, and his immune system's up. So he thought that doing that was the equivalent of the vaccine, and he presented it to his team in the NFL, and they denied that. But he was stiffened, and so when the press asked him that question, "Hey, do you have a vaccine?" He said, "What did he say? Yeah, I'm immunized."
He said,
"Yeah,
I'm immunized."
I'm immunized. So
saying to the question of are you vaccinated? Yeah, I'm immunized.
And that's where the problem. But the only difference is that the NFL did know that he wasn't vaccinated. So as soon as he went to that group or that public meeting and was there without a mask, they violated him because they already knew. So it wasn't like it was like a surprise. It was a surprise to the world and the population, because everyone outside of the NFL thought he meant he got the vaccine.
Right.
But
for me, it's just crazy, bro, because how these cats get 3 weeks, and I know they lied about it, but AB did go get vaccinated.
But this is the difference. AB and them got actual freaking vaccination cards, like fraudulent. Like you get a fake ID with your license, they got a vaccination card. Like, yo, they pay somebody to make them a vaccination card. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, remember, they were reported as the first team to be 100% vaccinated, and yet 4 players had fake. So that means that they lied to their team, their teammates. But
what's the difference though? Because Aaron Rodgers, no. But that's just law, and law get manipulated all the time. I'm talking about the implications of the lie. That's the same. Aaron Rodgers put his teammates at risk, other teams at risk, fans at risk, media personnel at risk. The same thing. And he's seeing 10 times more people than Antonio Brown.
The health risk is equally the same, but we're talking about the actual act of lying, where Aaron Rodgers was in his mind thinking he was good to go, even though the NFL told him he wasn't. He believed that what he did was good enough. He didn't go out and actually pay money to get a fake card. But they didn't get no immunotherapy.
He paid money to get a procedure that according to the CDC and FDA and all that, does not work against COVID.
No, it doesn't change anything, but it does help his body, though. I mean, it
But
does. It's not
but
like
it's not going to
without.
help. It's not going to help Devontae Adams though. He gonna still get exposed the same as Tom Brady would get exposed.
And one could argue that even if he had gotten the vaccination, he still could get the he still could.
Well,
get
in
COVID,
that situation, it's well, if that same argument would apply to AB and Aaron Rodgers equally, though.
I believe that the punishment has nothing to do with the COVID risk, more so than the act of what they did. Committing a crime is a little bit different. It's like you're taking it a step further and saying, "Oh wait, we're not going to get the vaccine. Instead of getting the vaccine that's fucking free, we're
but
going
to AB did get vaccinated though.
He later
found out. Before everybody found out.
Yeah, so that's what lets you know that it's not about the vaccination and not vaccination. It's about the fact that you paid money to get a fake vaccination card and reported it as legal documentation, because that's legal documentation. And you presented fake legal documents. That's
isn't the immunotherapy legally saying, "Oh, I got
no," because he didn't give them any fake documentations. He really did get immunotherapy.
But that doesn't
he presented
do
that to NFL, but he didn't. That's what I'm saying. That he didn't.
If the goal is to keep the players safe,
right?
Both of these men violated that.
Yeah, goal. They both fucked up. But the reason why AB's is more severe and the other three gentlemen is that they actually took it a step further and committed a crime, which is fraud.
But if you look at what Aaron Rodgers is saying afterwards,
card is a government card saying that you got vaccinated. No different than you go get your ID at the DMV. When you if you get a fake ID and get caught with that, that's federal charges on you.
I don't know, man. It just don't. It feel like it got some type of other nefarious activity going on behind it, because
there could be, of course.
Yeah, I really feel like that's the case, man.
Let's look at
the NFL's bodies.
If Aaron Rodgers what also did this, we argue that his punishment would be slightly less severe than theirs.
Oh, of course, he the sheriff.
And now that we can argue, because look, AB already has a stigma against him, so obviously it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter if he farts in the wind or jaywalks. It's gonna get
social credit score.
Yeah, his shit's gonna get dinged a lot harder, because one we already know how America feels towards minorities versus non-minorities,
and it wasn't just AB. It was all four black guys.
Yeah. Yep. All four of them, and they just hung them up to dry.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of ignorant on the other guys' case. What they all have four fraudulent vaccine cards.
I believe so. I think there was. I didn't really get any details on the other gentleman, because AB's case is like, let's get on that. The chef, the chef that snitched on him. I think that maybe what happened is after AB got his card, he may have said, "Hey guys, I got this card," and the other dude's like, "Fuck, where'd you get that?" And then he probably linked. He probably gave him the number of the dude that got him his, and they probably went along and did it too.
Oh man,
that's probably what happened. But I'm just speculating, because
right.
Yeah, but it makes more sense, because the person that got caught initially was AB, and then it led to everyone else getting caught. Yeah. It's like a domino effect reaction, because once they caught AB, that means the dude that AB got it from probably snitched and told him, "I sold it to these three guys too."
All these niggas, look, it's the Cash App receipt right here.
But hey, who's gonna get the most trouble is the dude that made the cards.
Yeah, usually dumb as shit. Why did he snitch on
usually the chef isn't the one that made it. The chef just snitched because the chef said he didn't remember. AB didn't pay him or whatnot.
So what did they go back and check the vaccination records?
Yeah. The chef isn't the one that. Yeah, the chef isn't the one that made him for him. The chef is the one that linked him to the dude that made him. He was like, I know a guy. Like, he asked the chef, and the chef's like, I know a guy that could probably get that done for you. And then he met the dude and got the shit. But then what happens? I think the chef was doing caterings and shit for him, and I guess he gave him an invoice, and he didn't pay. AB didn't pay him for an invoice that he put. So they were like in dispute about the money and shit. So he said, "You know what? Fuck you." Snitch.
That's some bitch shit, bro. That's some bullshit, bro. It is, especially if it's on an invoice, then you could just sue him for it or something. You don't have to be a hoe. I don't know, man.
It's terrible, bro. I mean,
that's messy.
You know how we are in
shit.
Baltimore. That's one thing we don't fucking tolerate is snitching.
Nah, you can't tell them,
especially for some petty shit like that.
Right.
Yo, over some money, you gonna put a guy's livelihood. Now he definitely can't pay you, dummy.
Yeah, and he might get you killed, nigga. You know, AB from the South.
Yo, AV holds grudges. You seen what you
He
see
baby
how
brown eyes,
he
nigga.
almost fought a girl, that chick for lying on him. And that's how I knew that's how I knew that she was lying, because he went way too hard for a lie. Like, it's like, yo, he's going hard, like he's being insulted. Like, yo, you ain't gonna be lying on me. Yo, got arrested for after the fact for like threatening her and shit. That's how he got cut off the Patriots. And that's at the
poor
moment
AB, man.
I think at that moment is when I knew that AB, he may have been fucking up, but he wasn't lying about that. And that's how he got off on that too, because yo, she was full of shit. It's
that's
like,
a weird thing too, man.
IG pictures of you guys in bed together that you posted, but he's sexually harassing you.
So did she face any repercussions for that? Because Deshaun Watson sort of going through it's crazy that the society just let it go.
They just let it go, yo. I think that there needs to be punishment if they fucking discover that the the accusations are fraudulent in any way. Yo, you need to pay for that. So we can stop. Yeah. Yo, they need to pay for fines, whatever you can, but they need to have some kind of repercussions, because that's not cool.
Right. Because you remember what happened to the that boy at Baylor. I think he was like a DN at Baylor, and the boy was he looked like DK Metcalf on the other side of the ball. And the young lady said he raped her, and he couldn't. He was done. He couldn't even go to the NFL or none of that shit, man. And I don't think she faced any repercussions for that once they put the pieces from the cell phone and the GPS tracking and all that shit together. They just let her go. They just let her go, man. Ruin he was playing football since he was 10.
They're almost afraid to villainize the opposed victim. It's like, she's already if we villainize her, then we look insensitive towards women. And but in the end, yes, we can sympathize for those that are telling the truth. But if you get discovered to be in a lie, yo, that's foul, because you're disrespecting the women that actually are going through these things, yo. That's fucking bullshit. It's just like they say in the hood, they always do when the dude lie on his dick. He's like, yeah, fuck Shawty. And then when you go there and then ask her, yo, it was that Fuji thing. Remember Michelle Brown from the park? He's like, and then she was like, hey, you fuck Jay. She was like, hell no. He was like, Michelle around.
Lying like a motherfucker.
Yo. You lose credibility. And I think that's what happens, yo. They should lose credibility. That's the boy who cried wolf. You can't sit there and keep lying about something, and then when you tell the truth, no one gonna believe you. Yeah. So you heard it for all women when you do that shit. So yo, stop using that as some kind of like leverage you hold over a dude, yo. If you have consensual sex, is that, but don't try to flip it and say,
well, society know that. Society know that. Women got that in their back pocket.
Love and hate. Yo, they should have never let that movie release, yo.
that poison the whole right there. You put that right up there with the color purple.
Because when I saw that, I was so scared. Yo, that was I seen so many horror movies, but Thin Line Between Love and Hate scared me, yo. I was always like looking for red flags and stuff, like, this girl's a little bit too, she's a little too attached, she's like a little too clingy. Oh, that's Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Fuck that.
Shit can change real quick. Yo,
so you get scared, yo. You get scared. It scares you because, like, you start picturing that shit. It's like, yo, we can have sex, and 10 minutes later, she'll go to her house, beat the shit out of herself, and then go right to the police with my semen.
Her own ass, bro.
Yeah, it's like my semen's still fresh in her, and she goes with scars and bruises. I don't give a fuck what I say. I'm fucked.
They gonna lock you up first, and then sort through everything out.
And good luck to me. Good luck to me, because it's
no luck,
all the physical evidence is against me, yo. I'm gonna need Dexter to fucking go in there and analyze the blood splatter to get me off. and if it doesn't work, then at least I know Dexter will take care of her.
On the back end. I'm not fucking with you. Hey, but while we talking about the R word, we're not gonna say that. I think that gets demonetized. But the Jeffrey Epstein's homegirl, how you pronounce her name? Or we was going over it earlier. We was going over it early in pre-production.
What was it, like Ghislaine, but it was Hillestein?
Giselle. I'm gonna call it
Giselle. Oh, his
said it right earlier.
His lane, or it's like Helene. Helene. I think it's Helene. If I was looking at it, it looks like it's Ghislaine. But I think the pronunciation to me is speaking to me and says Helene.
Okay.
Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell. It just flows good. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's Ghislaine.
I'm gonna
Or
call
what
the
did you
bitch
say?
Giselle.
Ghislaine. She had a little too
Giselle.
much lean. Oh, Giseline.
I
No,
got
but that sounds
lean.
too much like my sister's name, and I ain't trying to disrespect my sister, yo.
No, is her last name Maxwell?
No, but still,
All
her
right, then
name's
that
just
ain't her. Then that ain't her.
her name is Giselle. So how you gonna say something that sounds Giselle? That's too close. I don't
All
like
right, so
that.
what you want me to say?
I love
Jim
my sister too
Sticky?
much.
Jim
She
Silly?
and there's
Giselle?
also a famous salsa singer named Giselle, and she's the
Zasa.
bomb, yo.
What the fuck is Zasa?
Salsa. You never heard of salsa?
Oh, salsa. Salsa.
Yeah.
Bachata.
Oh yeah, it's salsa. I'm not talking about chips. I'm not talking about Tostitos. I'm talking about the dance salsa. You talking about
Nigga,
salsa?
you put too much
Hey,
sexy on it just
salsa is
now,
when you
nigga.
eating some chips. Yo, what
Salsa.
salsa?
So what is
Salsa.
it?
Yeah,
Salsa?
salsa. Because it's
Salsa.
SA. All right, so the
Sala.
sound and then the A makes a sound, and then the L is a
Salsa.
salsa. But if you do it in English pronunciation, you'll say salsa. But salsa is what you eat with a chip, yo. We're not eating chips. We dance.
I'm saying mine the Arkansas way, nigga. Salsa, nigga.
Salsa. You done some salsa, man.
We gonna go to off or near the border, nigga. But yeah, just Salsa Maxwell, nigga.
Yeah, Salsa Maxwell. That was her name.
Her case started last week, I think, man. And the first thing the judge said was that the details were too graphic for the case to really be held in the public eye. And what that translated to me was, it's too many niggas I know fucking kids for me to put this on CNN. So what you think about that, bro? What you think is gonna be the outcome of that? Who you think is implicated? What you think is gonna be action behind it? Just like if the regular Joe Schmo was touching kids, or what? Because it's Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker.
This is probably the heaviest trial in American history right now, yo. This trial is so heavy because it involves so many people. And shout to my cousin Remy, who brought this topic to my attention, because we almost like skipped over it, and it's really a big topic. And she said, "You guys gotta cover this. What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "All right, shout out Remy, do it." So shout out Remy, you know. So I appreciate you bringing this in. And she gave me a lot of information. So she was telling me about the flight logs and everything, the people that was in there. You know, and there's a insane amount of celebrities that's on this flight log.
Crazy, bro.
That's on with a bunch of 13 to 16-year-old girls, documented. And there's like, what is it? Like 4 girls right now that's basically on trial now. That's witnesses to the case. Where one of them even said that they were being specifically groomed by Helene to be groomed for Donald Trump. At 14, like, I mean, these girls are older now, but they're talking about when it happened.
When it was happening,
14 years old, you know, and celebrities, political officials from all over the world were coming.
Financial managers, everything. Bunch of people, bro.
Yo, if you was in the 7 figures, you probably was on the guest list. And fucking that's basically what it is. So, I mean, when we was going around when Epstien, the claimed suicide.
Right.
And we saw across social media for like a whole year, it'd be jokes about something like free Haramba and justice for Haramba. Epstien didn't kill himself.
Epstien didn't kill himself, bro. Yo, that was a wild thing, bro. That's suicide.
Yeah, think about the gravity of the information that dude had alive. And you think about movies like what is that? Enemy of the State with Will Smith.
They gotta get you out of there. They
Epstien has more information than he does. Yo, that dude, talk about enemy of the state. Yo, at all costs, that dude had to go.
He hung himself by but he had a cellmate, I think.
Yeah,
some brolic nigga, but we haven't heard anything from that nigga.
Hey, 1, they're gonna make it look like it's suicide. 2, even if you find out it's not, they're gonna bury it before you can do it. And you know what it is? It's one of those things like when you ask the right questions, you end up missing.
So let's shut the fuck up. Let's focus back on Salsa. So what I wonder if she, the fact that she made it this far makes me think that at some point between her arrest and the opening arguments of the case, that somebody, nudged her, was like, "Hey, baby, you don't know about Bill Clinton fucking them little kids, right? You don't know nothing about that, right? You seen what happened to Jay Money, right?
Yeah.
Or like you don't know nothing about Chris Tucker putting his dick on him. Say, come on, man.
Yeah.
Suck my dick, man.
So what do you think, man? Do you think that at some point this trial is probably not going to see the end because it's a possibility? Because if she's gone, this whole case is in the water. If you look at it from a perspective, if she's gone and all you're left was the victims, you could easily destroy their credibility because it's
Oh
all
yeah,
about.
yeah.
So if she's gone, so you're looking at this very sensitive and very high in magnitude amount of people that are sweating behind the cameras.
See, what I
Thinking
think they're
like,
going, it's probably some judges involved too, bro. It's probably some cats
it's gotta
high up
be
Supreme
because
Courts,
it goes through political ties, entertainment, world leaders,
money,
anybody that
everything,
got the
everything
bread can
to
and
get
will
some
be
head.
invited. That it's
Yeah,
got the bread to get some head.
and the
I don't want to laugh about this.
they was
Pedophilia is
laughing.
real.
Pedophilia is
Pedophilia is
real, and I
real.
got 2 kids, but at the same time, a
And it's
lot of
not just
people now
pedophilia, it's human trafficking.
human trafficking. I mean, if people, I always say this, man. People always say, "Hey, that's not funny. Don't do that." Like somebody was saying some shit to me the other day about Ennis Cantor and all them people talking about Chinese slave work and all that other shit. But then you got an iPhone 13. They go, "How you think that iPhone 13 came about?" Nigga? Phone slave, they not paying them the same thing Jeff Bezos getting paid. They getting
They're not
paid
getting paid.
pennies a day. So
And
you
they got
taught you
minors too, and homeless. It doesn't matter. People that just
what?
slave labor.
Capitalizing slavery on them, bro. So it's cool to, I'm standing up for it, but to then go in and support it financially is just an oxymoron. So if you're not showing me that you are making the financial strides to really fight for something or speak on something, then I know you just trying to do it for social media clout or some likes or some shit like that. So when I laugh about it, I got an iPhone 7, so the nigga who made this shit, he probably free by now, So I can laugh about this shit. But as far as this goes, I mean, they're gonna bury it. Just like, I mean, when this shit first came out, the Omicron variant came out at the same time. Dueling stories. The media is controlled by a couple people that on a higher level, on the top hierarchy level, and then down is just the niggas implementing, running the plays, and the offensive coordinators and shit. So I think it's going to get buried, bro. Honestly, if anything comes out, it's going to be suppressed by Britney Spears gets her rights back from her father, Kim Kardashian, fucking Pete Davidson, the new Tesla truck coming out. It's just going to get buried under a slew of other news. And we as cattle, I mean, myself included, I fall a victim to that. We just going to fall underneath the news and jump from thing to thing.
Backpedal to that Pete Davidson. You know why that's funny to me is because there's a lot of men out there that feel like they that they sit at a certain bar where they can't go after women like that. They're looking at him as some kind of like inspiration. It's like, if he can fuck her, there's hope for me yet. That's going around the internet, and I'm laughing at that because I was like, but Pete Davidson is a celebrity,
a celebrity. And I heard I heard his dick look like a child's book bag. This shit like
at that point, you already know that it doesn't matter what the face look like.
Yeah, exactly. You just slinging meats and banging cheeks.
It's like she's like, ew.
Wow.
Oh. It's like you see the light come up. It's
like, with the SpongeBob open the box with the golden conch inside. Nigga.
It's like, hold on, it's like this.
Don't you pull your dick out, nigga. You looking down. Nigga.
She's like, look.
Get the fuck out.
And then he opens the pants. Closes the pants.
It smell like Kanye down here.
Oh,
that's crazy,
shit,
bro. I don't know, man. It's people always try to do that. If he can do it, I can do it. No, nigga. You're not the same, bro. Cut it out. Hey, Rich, he on SNL. He got money. He did movies on Amazon, and you are fucking no shade, but you dropping off packages like, for UPS.
But you got to let them have their victory, because that's how people they're looking at. But if anything, that gives Pete Davidson some more celebrity status.
Yeah, he done fucked all the bad chicks.
But
all the
Pete
bad
Davidson is hilarious. He's like, people don't look at him like, because like, all right, you see his stuff on Saturday Night Live, they're like, it's kind of bland, this and that. But he's
Saturday
the type
Night
of dude.
Live is not a.
He's the type of dude that if you just hung out with him, you'd probably be laughing all day, because he's the type of dude that's just funny, just being around type of funny. Because when you see him in interviews, he's hilarious when he's being interviewed, and he's very witty. And that's where his comedy comes from. So I don't see him like, he does a stand up. It's kind of gotta be your flavor. He's not gonna do no like full craftsman like a Eddie Murphy, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Sean Leverett,
Mike Epps type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my.
See
that's
how
what I like. And you gave me you done plugged me with them niggas, and you gave me a book deal in the same episode, nigga.
No, like he's not that type of comedian. You know, he's the type of guy that's like more laid back and look at everyday stuff and see the funny in it. So if you understand where his comedic perception is, then you'll see why he's funny. It's like he's not going to be funny to everybody, and that's how a lot of comedians are. There's a certain.
Let me ask you that
flavor.
though. What type of comedian do you prefer, man? Do you prefer the witty one that's the long, like, because you'll hear some sets where it's long pauses and then it's chuckles and then and it's a witty comedy show, or do you want that bang 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 DC Young Fly?
I want versatility, because sometimes when you get too much of the over the top, it can become redundant, and you're like, okay, we get it, you're hilarious, and then people will start kind of get annoyed by it. So I think that it's an evolution process, and I believe that the best comedians, they become versatile. Can show different sides and styles. So I think the more versatile you are, the more longevity and the broader your success will be. I think to be open to that, and I think that's why I have a lot of respect for like your comedy, because you're real open to growing. You know what I mean? I think this show's also an opportunity too, because it's like it gives us stuff to talk about, and I think this would advance in how you view things. But you're that type. You're very perceptive, and I think those are the best comedians. Like that's like Dave Chappelle. Like, he's a comedian, you gotta see right? The world, but he's always studying what's going on, and he has a very intellectual aspect to his comedy. Just like Chris Rock is the same way too. So like you're not just laughing. If you're not paying attention, you're missing the lessons that they're giving you. So you gotta. It's like that's what makes you think. You're like, oh shit. So, where Dave Chappelle's a little bit more extreme in his lessons, but you have to like peel it back and see the message underneath. And that's what Dave Chappelle is like, challenging his audience to look past my crazy comedy techniques and see the underlying message that I'm giving you. And if you don't see it, then that's why I'm gonna laugh at you. And that's how Dave Chappelle looks at it. It's like, if you didn't get what I just did, fuck you for being stupid.
That's the thing, people. Care. Yeah, that goes back to the thing we talked about a couple weeks ago, man, with the sensitivity thing, man. Everybody is unwilling to calm down, read it 3 or 4 times, and take away from it what it really is. Everybody just wants, motherfucker, that didn't make me feel good. A lot of things don't make you feel good. That's good for you, but I mean, that's how you learn, man. I was talking to one of my homegirls the other day, and it's like people just don't want to learn anymore. They just want to be right now. Fuck whether it's valid or not. Fuck whether it's the right thing to do. I'm right in this argument, and that's all that matters. And I think that's why society is sort of stagnated, as as far as it's more progressive and all of that shit now. But sometimes I feel like that progressive shit is just social bullying. Like, if you don't feel how I feel, first of all, you're gonna get fired. Second of all, your Twitter's gonna get shut down. Third of all, your kids are gonna be called misogynist at work, shit like that. I hate that society is going in that. My wife is blowing my house phone up, brother. Baby, when you watch this episode, I'm not cheating. I'm talking to Edwin. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yo,
but
how long before we see a Christmas movie where it's no longer Santa Claus and it's Mrs. Claus? You know what I mean?
Shit. I thought that was Miss Doubtfire shit. I don't know.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like what's going on. It's like, there's a level where you can say, hey, we want to be fair to everyone, but there's also a level where you gotta say, hey, man, that doesn't mean that everything's gotta be flipped. So if everything's being flipped, it's like, that's not what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to be is equality. Treat everybody equally and respect. But it doesn't mean change your whole perception. It just means start to respect each thing. So when a new thing comes, don't reject it because I feel like this is hip hop culture, and that should be represented by only Black, but it should be recognized that is Black culture. You know what I mean? There's a difference between being a culture vulture and someone that's living in the culture. Right. And that's the differences, because you can tell the difference in how the artists represent themselves. Develop it. So it's like, because all culture is supposed to be shared, but it's not supposed to be mocked.
Right,
and that's
what it's getting mocky,
and that's what it is. It becomes mocky when you see like someone from another culture,
if that's
and
a
they're
word,
saying,
guys.
"This is my it's gonna have to be." You know what I mean? This is my perception of what this culture is, and just like you said, I'm right. So because that's their viewpoint on it, they'll they'll throw that
They'll
out there,
die on that hill,
and
bro.
they'll force you to take it in, and then you don't realize that they're actually not bigging up the culture. They're mocking it or disrespecting it.
Or
And
just
that's when
co-opting
you
it.
see a culture vulture. Like, you're a culture vulture. You're
Mhm.
taking a culture that's not originally yours, and you're trying to make it your own, and that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed
Stealing.
to,
That's
yeah,
so like how would you that's what I completely agree with you there. So how would I feel like with those types of situations, it's not going back and changing something to make it more palatable to society now. I think you should be forward looking and say, okay, from
yeah,
now on, when we develop new characters or
yeah.
new music or new art or
We
whatever,
expand
we
the
expand.
horizon into
Right,
what we can open
right,
to, but we shouldn't be
right,
going backwards, changing, trying to undo the past, because the past is how we got to the future.
right,
So it's like,
right,
don't forget your past, but you can't change it. It doesn't
right.
matter if you're like, like when they made the Black Annie, they
Somebody,
yo, the Black
somebody
Annie
said
was
that
great,
that
but you
Annie that
see,
just came out.
oh,
Nigga
did
said,
you see that?
"Oh,
I
yo,
didn't
the
see it.
internet is
It was
petty."
supposed to be live. It was supposed to
Oh
be
my
live. Was it
god.
live? Was there any
They said
mistakes?
that Annie real hard in the face, yo. They said that little girl real hard in the face. They said she looked like she was about to come out there and start singing "Son of a Preacher Man." She was hard in the face. I was dying when niggas said
No,
that,
but
yo.
when you see that, it's actually beautiful, but at the same time, you gotta look at it like it shouldn't be done because it has to be done. Sometimes things it's like, we got to do this because it has to be to show
Right.
everybody that should be, but that's what creates the disconnect. And I think that's all the way around sometimes, because we're all trying to fix something that can't be fixed. We're supposed to be fixing our future, not our past. The past is already written. So it's like, let's not try to redo what the past is. Instead, let's accept the past for what it is, accept all the wrongdoing that's done, and try to move forward,
And work on it. Yeah.
because everyone's stabbing at each other, and then it's like, here's what it goes. It's like a swinging pendulum, right? It's a swinging pendulum, right? Right now, on the white side, they're looking really bad. But anytime somebody that's a minority that does something wrong, the white will go, "See, I told you," and that's not gonna do nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not gonna do
Right.
nothing. And I think that's what. How do we even get here? Where we really got into the deep.
No,
Into
we
this.
was talking about Salsa Maxwell at first, but we got here. But this is good. This is good discourse, because
yeah.
this ties back to one of my concepts and my ideologies about slavery and reparations and all that. I don't give a fuck about taking no statue down. I don't give a fuck about no Juneteenth. All of these things trying to fix the past and make some and change the past. Change the future. Change the future.
future.
So enable us to make changes going forward. Don't give me no Harriet Tubman on no 20. Don't take down Robert Lee's statue. Don't motherfucking make Elvis give back all his publishers to Chuck Berry. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
Give us the tools we need to move forward.
That's not helping the future at all. What it's doing is making the path to the future harder, because then what's going on is now everyone's fighting to keep something.
Right. Instead of working for
it's
it.
like
Right,
everyone's becoming that little 8-year-old boy that has his favorite sneakers or favorite teddy bear, and your cousin came over for Christmas and you never play with it, so I'm going to give it to your little cousin. That's mine, and that's what's going on. Like, nobody cared about that statue. Nobody gave a fuck about it, and suddenly they tear it down, and everyone's going, "Oh, that's our history."
And what changed?
Isn't all racist.
And what changed?
Bro, nothing changed. All
Not
the
a damn
changes
thing.
now, you guys look foolish because now you guys make it look like we should have took it down.
That's what you fought for, a statue change, nigga.
A statue, yo.
And another thing about government. This is so we're not even gonna talk about this too long. All that shit going on in Baltimore City, everything going on in the city, bro. The murders, the drugs, the political corruption, everything. You know what they did to try to quell the people for all that? You know what they did for the city?
What's that?
They put up a fucking Ferris wheel at the Inner Harbor, nigga.
I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that.
Nigga, that's all I needed to say. Baltimore city government is incompetent, nigga. I'd rather have Tommy, Lillian, and the rest of the fucking Rugrats run the city than them goofy ass niggas. Pull up your diapers, baby. It's Benton time. That's what I'd rather hear.
Oh my gosh.
Them niggas is goofy. I tried to give the nigga Brandon Scott a pass because he was young. He had an afro. I'm like, all right, he gonna come in and do some good. This nigga put up a Warriors for Ferris wheel, but we're not even going to talk about that. So let's we'll wait, guys. If something else more as more information comes out, as the case unfolds, as the trial, me and Edwin will try to gather as much information as we can on that case. So next time we speak about it, we have a more informed opinion.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to dig into that. There's a lot to dig into that.
It's a lot too, bro.
This case is huge because it blows a lot of things wide open. And how are we gonna look at the celebrity population when what happens is all we got is a flight log, right? So we know that there's allegations to be made from that flight log, but other than that, there's no other facts present. But that doesn't mean that this case isn't going to bring out facts that's going to make you look at like 70% of the celebrities that maybe 5 of them are in your top 10. And they're on this flight log, and you're thinking, yo, I'm watching these movies. Should we stop going to the movie theaters and shit? Like, look at
I mean, they just gonna put another nigga in the place, man. But I always said that once you get rich like that, man, once you have unlimited power, unlimited access, all of the threesomes and all of the cocaine and all of the luxury cars, eventually they lose their luster and you looking for something more, man. It's only human nature to be like, all right, what's the next high? What's the next rush? And if you're not a strong, solid motherfucker, eventually you're gonna be like, all right, what that preschool pussy look like?
Martin Lawrence, he's a huge example. You seen he took a huge tumble and then he bounced back up. But not all. Chris Tucker, he stepped away and devoted to God because of Hollywood.
Then you got,
bro. And Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million.
So think about what make you do that.
And then came back like he left his keys and just destroyed the industry, yo.
Made triple that.
And and not only that, but he used his celebrity status to force Comedy Central to give him back his rights to the Chappelle Show. And Netflix was so baller that they said, Dave, yo, we respect you, yo. And they pulled the Chappelle Show off Netflix out of respect to Dave Chappelle. And
so he had to be a solid motherfucker, yo. When I see that, he got to be a solid motherfucker.
Yo, you got to be solid because now it's the Chappelle Show is back on, but because he got the right. So now he's actually getting the money he deserves from it because that's his material. And he's able to spread that to people that helped create that because there's a lot of people behind that, not just Dave Chappelle.
A lot of people. Yeah.
But that's insane, to look at that. It's like, and then people want to cancel. And that's why he laughs. It's like, bro, do you know when I just went through what Hollywood tried to break him? He walked away, came back like he left his car keys
and flourished.
Flourished. Yo, that shit's crazy. And that's just
that's a true hero story.
How fucked up Hollywood is.
Yeah, man. That little kid from the Disney Channel killed himself a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What's the Corey Feldman? That story he put out called "An Open Secret." They tried to suppress. Did you see that documentary? They tried to suppress the shit about how the motherfuckers was raping him and molesting. Oh, I'm sorry, I said the R word. We're molesting him and touching his body. Man, it's terrible, bro. But we all know it. Everybody know these type of things, but we act like it's like not a factor. Like when my daughter was born, my wife was like, "Let's put her in modeling. Let's put her in commercials." I said, "Hell, fucking."
But see,
no.
What was the name of that comedian that you remember the Kevin Spacey thing? Where he got hemmed up over his. Well, Kevin Spacey got caught up for trying to make advances at another male actor who was a minor at the time, and then when he got exposed, he ended up getting canceled. And the House of Cards, they tried real hard to replace him with a female. So what comedian says like now he's like, you know what? Fuck you, Kevin Spacey. Now I'm never gonna know how House of Cards concludes.
I heard that joke.
Really love that show, and I was like, yo, and he got a lot of backlash for that joke. And I'm like, yo, you have to see the underlying part of that joke. The joke was hilarious, but he's also highlighting the reason why. Like, you fucked up, but now because of that, you deprived what could have been. You had an opportunity to be a good person, and you squandered it.
And fucked us all.
Being a foul, and you fucked everybody, not just yourself, but everybody else.
And I don't think you should get no kickback for saying shit like
that. No, because it's like you're not making fun of it. You're shedding light in a comedic form. That's all it is. That's all. Listen, that's all comedy is bringing the funny out of disasters and tragedies, so that instead of us being anchored by pain, we're fueled by laughter.
Right.
Oh shit! Put that in a fucking fortune cookie.
Put that on it. I'm telling you, we got Maxine t-shirts. We gonna have t-shirts for days, nigga. We come out with a new t-shirt every episode, nigga.
Put that shit on a t-shirt right there, yo. Comedy is made to shed light on tragedies and disasters to what is it? What did I say?
I don't know. We're gonna have to listen to it on the playback, nigga. But
Yeah.
Fire,
That shit was so natural, son. It felt good when I said it.
I thought you motherfucking morphed into Langston Hughes when you said that.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Life ain't been.
It was so good you can't say it twice, yo.
No.
I shouldn't
Lord
even
slapped
attempt
your
it.
lips.
Yeah. It's like, off with you, yo. It's already on tape. You ain't gotta repeat it. They had the rewind button.
Yeah, they're gonna be that little red dot gonna be playing back like a motherfucker.
Hey, when you see the little dot come to here and you see that I struggled, remember what I just said 15 seconds ago? Fucking rewind and then comment and then let it go forward. Then rewind again just to make sure you soak it in. And then remember that everything we recorded is fucking copyrighted. So if I see that on a t-shirt, I want my money, son.
Or we gonna come get it the ski mask way.
Yeah.
We not snitching. Definitely. We not snitching like AB Chef, nigga. We pulling up on you, nigga.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yo. But so hold on. So speaking of bars, you just had some heavy bars. Two of the Bone Thugs was really a rap group. 3-6 was some Memphis niggas, some Memphis killers. You feel me? And
it's like crunk. It's like get crunk and like
yeah. Southern. Well, I was about to say Southern crunk, but that's where that came from. But they had
their own genre, and I think
yeah.
You know what? These two groups kind of sat in their own genre if you think about it.
Yeah,
because
of course.
Nobody sounded like Bone and nobody did it like 3-6. Like
before and after.
Yeah. And a lot of their styles are emulated to a degree, but nothing ever even comes remotely close to what they sounded like. Exactly. Because it's a whole different thing. You know, you can't really recreate that. And I think that is part of the reason why it was believed that would be a good mashup. But that's also the reason why, to me, it was a bad mashup, because they couldn't be completely too separate. And even though a lot of hip hop fans will probably have both of them in their libraries, but those two don't mix together. In my opinion,
it's two different vibes. It's two
different vibes. Like, yo, if you want to get crunk and get pumped, go to the club and like really get hyped. You can even do that before you go to a boxing match or like a boxer will do that as entry music, or you're about to play a intense game. You're in the finals. You put that shit on there, like yeah, yo.
3-6 was my shit. I can't lie. I know you're a Bone Thugs guy, but 3-6 was my shit. But
when you want to lay back, like you want to ride, you're smoking on a blunt, and you just want like your heavy mental to get elevated.
Yeah,
that's when you put Bone Thugs in. So it's like I listen to both, but for two different reasons. So it's like if I'm on chill mode, Bone Thugs is in my radio.
Right.
But if I'm like ready to get hyped and get crazy, I'm putting 3-6 in there. But I'm never putting them in there together, yo. I've never done that.
Nah. Because you might have an anxiety attack, nigga.
Yeah, like, yo, you're gonna. It's like hit a blunt, snort a line. Hit a blunt, snort a line.
Pop a pill.
It's like yo, you can't, yo. Eventually, something's gonna give, yo. You're either gonna fall asleep or your heart's gonna explode.
And your
it's gonna happen, yo.
So what you think about your boy Busy Bone, man? As a Bone Thug fan, man, how you feel about him, man? After what he did, and what you're not gonna do is disrespect him and telling me how you feel.
What I want to know is what was they doing? Because the camera angle was just completely zoned in on Busy, and he was like, he had his sunglasses at night, yo. It was a dark club, and he had sunglasses on,
and he had like a caution strip in front of him, right? Like,
they had the caution strip, and he was just vibing. Like you see, he was like in a whole mode, right? So you don't think anything wrong's happening. Then the song ends, and he goes, "Hold up, before we go any further," and then you see the camera scroll over, and at that point, I think that they were doing something to make fun of what he was doing.
Yeah, they was making fun of his body.
They're insinuating because they were insinuating something that hit close to home. And when he did that, he was like, "Hold up, before we go any further, you're not gonna be up here disrespecting me while I'm on the stage."
Spot on, nigga.
Yo, Juicy J was like, "Man, suck my motherfucking dick. Play the next record." And then the crazy thing is that was disrespectful, but
that was cold.
Busy was still in his feelings when he said that, so he basically
fuck this damn pop water.
Yeah, what he said by sucking my dick is not. People sometimes take things out of context. What that really is saying is fuck your feelings.
Fuck what you talking about?
Yeah, fuck your feelings and fuck your opinion. We're gonna keep moving. You're not important. but it
Right.
doesn't necessarily mean suck my dick.
Yeah.
But people
Let me pull
sometimes
my pants down.
it's disrespectful, but that's what he said in that moment.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying about sucking my dick. In
In
that
the
moment,
culture,
Busy
that's what
was
that
like,
means. Yeah.
no, he was like, nah, fuck that. You gonna listen to me. So he throws his mic, doesn't even hit Juicy J, hits the other dude behind him in the chest, then throws the water bottle, hits Juicy J, and then they start rushing. And yo, I gotta give big ups to Lazy Bone because Lazy Bone kept his composure.
Yeah.
And he stood in front and was just pushing back. He was like, I'm not gonna let you hit him. And it's like, yo, and so he was pushing back, and then it looked like he kind of grazed him.
You hit him.
That's not
Jody.
No, stop. We trying to make this like he was like, yo, I'm trying to keep this cool. We trying to make this money, yo. Like, chill. Like, that's where he was at. Like, chill. We ain't gonna let this get to that, yo.
Yeah.
And that's where he was at. I kind of, my bad, Lazy. I didn't make you. That's not how you was at. He was more like, chill.
Stop.
But why did Busy backed off and then he ended up leaving the stage?
Away,
and I thought he was gone and he came back and apologized, but they had a handshake for a moment, but that handshake was still mad rough. Like there was still tension there. They were both just probably saying something like, yo, wait till this is over, yo. We're gonna fuck you up later. He's like, nah, you gonna bring it, but for right now, we gotta get this money. That's basically what I'm thinking that they were saying without saying. Like, we be fighting right now, but we have a common goal here, so let's just
sponsored
chill.
by Ciroc. Diddy will fucking beat the shit out of both of us. Stop fighting.
But then later on, Busy Bone made a post about it and was basically insinuating that 3-6 Mafia were devil worshippers and shit. And he was saying, yo, I don't even want to imitate him.
Let him know.
Yo, he was
so
like,
he gonna message you. What you not gonna do is be on It's Too Late talking about.
Busy. Yo, Bone is my group though.
I know, yo. I know, but you gotta tell her how it is, yo.
Yo, he was like, hey, I just want you to denounce that shit. Cause it makes me feel right with Jesus. Y'all some devil worshippers. You carry the mark of the beast. I just want to hear denounce that shit. It makes me feel good inside. It makes me feel good with Jesus. And I was like, bro. He had his sunglasses on again, yo. So I'm assuming he was high as shit, like eyes beat red. But yo, let me see eyes, yo. Because I want to see the pupils. Right in front of him. Because Mia X was that Mia X? Yeah, Mia X was saying he needs his medication. She's like, yo, he popping pills.
He popping pills, bro.
And that's what they were insinuating. And I think that's probably what they were joking. I think they were joking them, probably doing like stuff like he's fiending. Like, you know, like the be morphine, you know, that never falls.
The lean, yeah.
That lean. I think they were
gracing the ground.
Yeah. And all 3-6 Mafia was while they was making fun of him, they just kept saying they look and they get mad. It's like, oh, you just see me as Papa my collar.
Ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar. That shit was a banger.
But that's why 3-6 is like they shouldn't have put him against Bone Thugs because they had too much swag for Bone, and Bone wasn't on that type of shit.
They ain't got the energy to match.
So there's no songs that can match that, yo. Because they could just pop my collar the whole night and still crush every Bone song.
Because as far as a hype,
because shit. A club shit is the same as a concert shit. It's a hype thing, and no one's more hyped than 3-6, yo. Who would be up there doing that, yo? The only person that could bring that same energy is probably DMX. Rest in peace, DMX.
Or Busta Rhymes or somebody.
Or Busta Rhymes, like flip mode type shit, like. You know, because you need to bring that same energy, and Bone Thugs is laid back. So I think that is what caused the tension because the energy, the crowd was flowing towards 3-6, and Busy was feeling that.
There's nothing he could do.
Feeling that.
They should have had Travis Scott and 3-6 Mafia up there.
He had a bad moment there, though. That was a bad moment that I don't think he's going to recover from. He's not going to recover from that.
I mean, but the thing is, though, Bone ain't really relative right now.
Yeah, so but in that moment, though, I'm gonna tell you what, Lazy Bone came out looking like a freaking champion, though.
Yeah, and shout out to DJ Paul too for jumping in front of.
Oh yeah.
And he only got one hand and shit. He hopped up that bitch with the prosthetic, nigga. He was swatting the shit away like the nigga that used to play for the Seahawks.
That could have went bad real quick. Because they advanced with bad intentions. That was gonna go down.
We seen it happen like that a couple times. Hey, Jace. Hold on, let me tell my son get ready for basketball. Hey, Jace, get ready for basketball. Yeah, Mom's here. Oh shit, I'm gonna get cussed out on camera. Oh, here we go.
Hey, shit, on camera. It's 3:45, son.
No, you good. We got I want to close out with this oh shit. Is that LeChat, nigga? We do not own the rights to that music.
I apologize. That was my alarm to tell you that that was my alarm I set for 3:45.
Oh, to get me the fuck off camera, right? All
Yeah,
right, so
because I didn't
listen,
want you to run over.
we'll talk about this last topic, man. Since we on the topic of this, what do you think is the major difference between I mean, because we've seen the whole come out of a 90s rapper. So what do you think is the difference not only in music, because we all know it's a different style and vibe and genre of music from today than it was in the 90s, but what do you think the impact and the the impact on culture is from back then to today? You know, you're looking at something like NWA and how that inspired the whole "fuck the police" movement, as opposed to today where you got Lil Xan and Baby Perk and all of these niggas who are pretty much propagating drug culture. Do you
Yeah,
think that they both
they're
hit the
naming
same?
themselves after pills. I
Straight up.
honestly, honestly,
Yeah.
that in itself speaks for itself. And I
Hmm.
think it's just a direction. It's just like KRS-One. KRS-One's the one that's been saying it since the beginning, is that
Hmm.
they're trying to take our culture and use it to, instead of our culture supposed to the hip hop culture. When I say our culture, I'm talking about hip hop culture, not anything specific. But KRS-One, that's why he's one of my favorite artists, is because he maintained true to himself, and he looks at it from a political base and what the agenda is, and he sees the agenda while other people don't. Shout out to KRS-One. You got to see his verses, because him and the Big Daddy Kane, that
Big
was,
Daddy
if you're
Kane.
gonna watch a verses, that verses was official, because he was spitting some gems in that. But he's talking about how the mainstream culture is to take the underground hip hop culture and turn it into something they want to create and change a narrative. So it's like they promote this type of stuff. What happens is, I don't blame the artists for doing these things, because you have to remember that the record labels and the things
I
that's out
do.
here in the media and the things that, yeah, well, I mean, you can to some degree, but you have to remember the artist is trying to make money. So
But you
they're gonna
can't put a
go,
dollar price on you. You can't put a dollar.
but
You can't be a whore. I don't want to
no,
be a whore.
you can't. But at the same time, you have to look at what is the audience supporting. You know what I mean? The audience is supporting what they're told to support, because the only thing that's played on the radio is what they want to play on the radio. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I don't think
So
that's the audience picked and what go on the radio. That's the
no,
radio
but the
station.
audience takes the consumption for the radio and they accept what
Right.
they get. So then once
I
it
think that's
becomes
why
something,
radio is dying now, though, dog. I
yeah,
think that's why right now it's pirate
it's
radio, independent streamers is booming because people are tired of getting spoon fed the bullshit. You
yeah,
understand what I'm saying? Because they know it's trash. And one thing that struck me a couple years ago, Future, the rapper Future, he
yeah,
always talk about lean and Molly and all of that, but he came out and said, "Hey, yo, I don't even do none of that shit. I just do it because it sound cool."
yeah,
He said that. He admitted that.
yeah.
And niggas will still go behind him, listening to the music, get in the club, be like, "Yo, I'm about to pop a perk to get on the same
Yeah, but
vibe."
who's watching those interviews? Us, the adults, the older adults. So we understand.
Right,
Oh,
that's
okay, that
true.
means that is
That's
cool.
true.
We
It's a
accept the music now
facade.
because
Right,
we
right,
know
right,
it's
right.
just entertainment. But
Mhm.
the youngsters, they don't watch those
They
interviews.
take that shit to heart. Cause I know I
They
did when I
take it
was
in.
younger.
Yeah,
I took
they
Young
take it in.
Jeezy to heart and all that shit. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm about to go sell cocaine so I
yeah.
can be the snowman, Sean the snowman. But thank God I ain't
Yo,
take
but
that
that's
route.
why I came out so great, because my group was Wu-Tang Clan, yo. So it's like, selling drugs and such,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
trying to
Well,
get
I mean,
bonds what I could
everybody.
not touch. You know what I mean?
See,
So
but
it's like,
Wu Tang was selling drugs like an old dirty bastard. He
they
OD'd on
was,
drugs, nigga.
but listen to the lyrics. It's a
It
different,
was
it's
a
a
means
different
to an end,
perception.
not trying to get
Yeah,
high.
it's a different perception. They was doing what they was doing to get away from it. So it was like they're
Right,
trying to escape that, and they're telling the story of how they got to where they're at, trying to escape that, yo.
right.
Because life is a shorty, shouldn't be so rough.
Yeah, that's true.
As I learned,
Hey,
life was hell. Living in the wait, what is it?
nigga, if you gonna quote the bar, nigga, print it out and put it on your screen. For the next time you do it, say, so it can be seamless, nigga.
Yeah, yo, because I'm just off the top trying to think
No,
of
no,
that
no, no, no,
song.
no. I feel you. Like I was a big Jay-Z fan too, man. And I credit because I didn't have a father. And I can honestly say, I mean, I had a father, all of us have a father, but an influential and impactful father. And I can honestly say that, man, a lot of Jay-Z words and the way he told you not to be a goofy ass nigga and
Yeah,
to get your money and not be, Big Willie in it is what he used to call it. Stop
yep,
fronting for women and law in Atlantic
yeah.
City and shit like that. That really stuck
Yeah,
with
but
me, man.
it's also, look at Jay-Z. You know what made him? Because he grew. Like he started on the level where you seen it from,
A street
selling
soldier.
drugs,
Mm-hmm.
thugging it on the street, and then he
Mm-hmm.
got more and more sophisticated
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
grew from it, yo.
Right.
It's like he went from
Successfully, correct.
the jerseys to the ties and shit and to the
Mm-hmm.
suits. Yo, he
Mm-hmm.
did that on the rise up, and then along the way he still had those bangers that were catchy, but then he had those songs that make you think like this can't be life.
Right.
This
Right.
can't
Right.
be love. And he had that joint with Scarface. Scarface's verse on that was probably the hardest verse, though, by the way.
Yeah. That shit was hard. Guess who's
back? Yeah, yo. That was
shout out to Beanie Siegel was on
that this can't be life was like one of those tracks, yo. But yo, you hear those tracks, and it's like, yo, you hear these tracks and you hear these tracks, and it's like it's a journey where music back then it was taking you through a journey, yo, from the gutter,
no substance,
from the gutter to the glamour and glitz, where now it's just one theme. It's like, it's either gonna be a club theme, drug theme, thugging theme,
or women,
and then it goes to an extreme. And then what happens is there are artists out there that are authentic, but then there's all other artists that are just living in what they believe is the culture they're supposed to live in.
Yeah. And J. Cole told the cat Lil Pump or Lil Perk, one of them little white rappers, he told him, he like in a song, he was like, yo, take your time, slow down. That money ain't gonna be there. Them fans gonna leave you for that little drug talk you saying. And then lo and behold, today, that nigga facing bankruptcy, he getting sued for not paying taxes and all of that. And his shows ain't selling. And it came to fruition, yo. And just like in the NFL, just to tie back from the beginning of what we said, just like the NFL need to be on these cats to make sure that they are available by not making mistakes. These A&Rs and these music companies need to make sure that their artists are in a position to win afterwards. Like, yo, you're not going to be a hot nigga forever.
Yeah, it's not going to last
20 to 28. You
it's
might be
very
a hot
rare.
nigga.
You're gonna see that there's your occasional artists that make it up that far, and people be sleeping on Fabulous too, because remember Fabulous been out since the early 90s in the mixtapes to him doing albums, and he's still around now, hot, and no one talks about him. But you know what? Those are just rare artists that can evolve with the time. And it's you have so many rap artists that come out now because now everything's independent. I can sit here. Look, I got this mic right here. It's a condenser mic. I could make a whole song right now if I wanted to. And that's really where it's at. Anybody can make a home studio and put their music out. So that means that you have an opportunity to get big, but only the ones that know how to evolve are the ones that's gonna last. And it's not promised, and even still it's not promised. So that's really what J. Cole's trying to say is like, hey, you feeling like you got it, you can't be beaten, all this stuff, but there's gonna come a time, it may come sooner than later. So if you ain't planning while you got the money you got and you ain't stacking nothing,
it's a wrap for you.
It's a wrap for you.
It's crazy, man. It's heavy, man. But we hope everybody can try to, whatever you do it sustainably, man. Don't chase one of the main things I took away from the King Richard movie was, and I think we talked about this particular verse or particular course of conversation that was in the movie, is when he said, don't touch none of that stuff. A lot of that shit got everything in here come with hooks in it.
Yeah, yup.
And we don't see that, man, because humans are indulgent creatures, man.
That's huge in the hip hop environment
sphere
right now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fucking hooks and everything,
everything, bro. The jewelry, the cars, the women. Like Deion Sanders is a coach at Jackson State University. Is that the college he at? He coaches somewhere in HBCU, and he brought Brittany Renner in to teach his players how these gold diggers, I'm gonna just call it what it is, these gold diggers poach on these guys. They go through the NBA, they fuck 10, 12, 30 niggas in the NBA, NFL, NHL, baseball, lacrosse, tennis, book bag making, and then they come to you.
It's a hustle.
It's a hustle,
yo.
It's a hustle. I'm gonna get a baby by 2 or 3 of these niggas, and I'm set for life, cash for life, just like the scratch off.
And then they'll drop down to the collegiate level and say, "I was here since before you had the money."
Right, I've been here. Well, what about them 30 niggas that nutted it?
Yo, they don't understand. They don't understand that that's an investment. It's the same thing, bro. Like when Netflix, before it was big, you start putting your money on Netflix right now. But the people that did that, Netflix is fucking booming.
They eating.
So that's what them girls doing. They putting their money. They putting their money on these college guys and hope that they make it. man, if he goes in the first round, I'm rocking. Second round, I still can work with that. But if he's undrafted, let's hope that he gets an opportunity in special teams, and maybe, just maybe,
if he don't get drafted, they're gonna go fuck his friend that did get drafted.
Yep.
That's the cold part. That's the cold part. But yeah, man. But all right, man. I gotta go to my son basketball game, bro. So I gotta wrap. We gonna wrap this one up. I mean, this is still past what we told ourselves we was gonna do on a weekly basis. But you know, we can sit on this motherfucker forever, man.
Yeah, at this point, everyone's gonna start to realize that there is no time limit for us anymore. Yo, we set out to do 45-minute episodes, and we can't get under an hour to save our lives.
We can't, yo. Even when I'm getting cussed out.
Tell your son good luck in the game, man. Hope they win. Yo, play well.
Hey, yeah, man. Thank you. And to everybody watching, man, we do appreciate you guys for coming and spending an hour of time with us, man. We know it's a gang of podcasts out there in the metaverse. But you know, spending time with us, you're not just gonna get fluff. We're gonna talk about some things that might ruffle your feathers a little bit, but the discourse is needed, man. And Edwin, as always, man, I appreciate you sitting down to chop it out with me, big bro.
Yes, sir. And just remember, you know, we're gonna say some heavy stuff, some funny stuff, and you know, we may even be offensive, but just remember, no matter what, yo, if you feel a certain kind of way, just remember, it's too late. We said it.
And it ain't malicious. It ain't malicious. It's delicious, nigga.
It's delicious.
Guys, also, if you're in the Baltimore, Maryland, Earth area, make sure you come down every other Wednesday down at 10 Roof, Baltimore, right inside Power Plant Live, right inside the heart of the city. Me and one of my homies, Garrett Harvest, we run a comedy showcase / open mic every other Wednesday. Check out my page to follow that. It's a free show. We give away free giveaways, free bar tabs, free drinks, free gifts. He runs a vintage clothing store. He's always giving away old Ravens merch, shit like that. It's always a good time. Some of the best in the region, not just Baltimore, not just Virginia, not just Pennsylvania, not just West Virginia. Some we get comics from New York, Florida, Kentucky, LA. Everybody's always coming through, man. It's always a good show and it's free. And also check out my show. My page to see my upcoming comedy shows, and also check out Edwin's Twitch, man. Edwin's a boss ass gamer. Make sure you catch him out doing some of his shit on Twitch, man. Support his page, man. He's amazing. Always, just like his, it's gonna be the same content, man. Great mind, great dialogue, man. So make sure you check him out. Anything else you want to add, Edwin?
No, sorry, hey, yo, and on the game tip, my boy Screaming Stoner, he's starting his joint on Facebook. Look up Screaming Stoner. That's my boy from Texas.
I saw he was doing something about flying with a flight simulator.
Yo,
right?
He flew over my house and crashed into my house on the flight simulator.
Oh, yo. No, call George Bush. Call George Bush.
Yo, that shit was fantastic, bro. But yo, fantastic gaming content. We were supposed to cover some gaming content. I guess we'll do it on the next show, bro.
We'll talk about the next one.
We'll remember that. Yo, peace. You gotta get to your son game.
All right, man. Love you, bro. Be safe, yo. Thanks, guys.
Peace.